What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 4 of the Hot Drop. Play the goddamn thing.
What's going on, everyone? It is your host, Grim Reaper, here with episode number 4 of the Hot Drop. I'm joined, as always, by the most electrifying man in PUBG Entertainment, Shocks,
You already know what it is, baby.
and the man from the Southern Hemisphere, Kids
You did
TTV.
that. What's going on, everybody? Southern Hemisphere.
I had to.
Yeah,
Gotta keep
I like
it going. Alrighty, we've got some topics to cover here for you tonight. Got about 10 in total, give or take one or two, and we're gonna cover everything from all of BGE Season 3 qualifying rounds
Let's go.
as we get ready for the championship rounds that start this week, Friday.
Facts.
First and foremost, let me run down our qualifying teams. We have qualifying out of the A group: Skyline Gaming, WC, Exile Gaming, and sneaking in there at the end on the last day, Team Vicious. Coming out of the Bravo group, we've got the Dub Hub, Vigorous, Brotherhood Esports, and Crazy Mob, who also snuck in on the last day. Out of Charlie group, we've got Torch, Q3, The Mates, and Carnage. And coming out of your Delta group, GT, Skyline EU, Console Killers, and 20 Squad North.
Notice he put a little extra oomph on that 20
He
Squad
had
North.
yeah,
20 Squad North.
So those were your 16 teams that qualified coming out of qualifiers. We will also touch on who qualified out of the last chance tournament that was held on Sunday, which will be your 17th team going into the championship round.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who that is in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Let's talk quick about the top 16 teams. What do you guys think of it?
I think that there wasn't as many surprises as we thought for the most part. Who we thought was going to be advancing is who advanced, so I think it kind of worked out the way I expected it, mostly.
All right, kids.
I'm gonna stick with the same thing. One or two, maybe three or so didn't make it out of my original picks, but other than that, top six, the 16 that made it, that's no big surprises there. We was all expecting almost the same teams, all three of us combined. So I don't think there's nothing too major going off the top 16, but it's gonna be fun to watch them all play, though.
Yes, sir.
I agree, and definitely had the same on my end. I think I had one or two teams that I had in my quote-unquote bracket that didn't make it. And, yeah, unfortunately, which will lead into our next category, Bracket Busters. Who had the best bracket from start to finish? Let's see here. Shocks had, coming out of Alpha, Skyline, WC, XG, and High Rise. Skyline, WC, XG, and Team Vicious. So Shocks missed one out of Alpha. I also missed one as I had the same ones as Shocks, so I missed High Rise also. Kids had Skyline, XG, High Rise, and WC. So we all missed the first bracket, or all missed Alpha by one.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not a bad way to start.
Yeah, we all right. We did all right.
Coming out of the Bravo bracket, Vig, Dub Hub, Crazy Mob, BHE. Vig,
All of them.
Dub Hub, Crazy Mob, BHE. All three of us, I think, said the same thing. We did.
Yep.
100% on the Bravo group.
Check.
Charlie group. Shocks had the Mates, Torch, Q3, and Carnage. Mates, Torch, Q3, Carnage.
Check.
100% for Shocks.
Check.
For me, I had the exact same thing. So 100% there. Kids had Hellfire instead of Carnage. So
Sucked.
missed it 5-1.
Imagine,
Let
you
down right there,
imagine.
right?
We're gonna talk about that, but imagine.
Imagine, right?
Yes, we'll get to that in a little bit. Coming out of the Delta Group, GT, Offenchurch, Skyline EU, CK. GT, Skyline, Council Killers, 20 Squad North. So, Offenchurch did not qualify out of Shocks, missed that one. I also had Offenchurch, I missed that one, and Shot and Kids also had Offenchurch, missed that one. So all of us missed one in the Delta group, one in the Alpha group. Kids missed one in the Charlie group. So Shocks and I are tied. Kids missed 3.
There you go. I mean, that's pretty good. We got 14 out of 16. I mean, that's fantastic.
Right.
Great. And then, I mean, if you kids did the whole extra possibly could get in based on a sleeper, he had TV listed,
Yeah.
he had Carnage listed, and he had 20 Squad North listed. So I could give him a couple bonus points there.
I don't think you should get
They
me.
were his bubble team. They could pull the upset.
Were they my bubble teams?
They were his long shot team, as he
Oh,
called
they were.
them.
They were
Yeah.
my long shot team.
I
They
think
were,
my long
yeah.
shot
And
team
so those
was
3 long shots made it in. So
yeah. My
we'll
long
give him
shot
a
team
point there.
was mischief, and they absolutely failed me. Sheesh. Moose, what
If I
happened?
give him a point for the 3 long shot teams, we're all tied. Even Steven.
Word.
Alrighty. Moving on to our next topic. Let's talk playing event so we can round out our 17 teams and we'll get into the other stuff. Our playing event winner from Sunday night was Denial Esports, taking the top seed coming out of the play-in event and advancing into the championship rounds. Surprise? Not surprised? Kids, let's start with you.
I'm not surprised. They barely missed the group stages. They missed it by 4 points. So they went in there, did what they had to do in the wild card game, as I would say. Went there, blew out the second place team by like 14 or 16 points, somewhere around that. So no surprise. They'll come back. They're going to feel high and mighty, and they'll come back and show out during the championship weeks. No surprise, though.
Shots, what
Yeah,
about you?
I think, first of all, I think they ended up like 13th in the overall standings. So that's to start that off. So they probably shouldn't even been in a playing game, right? Which is fine. You didn't win your division. We talked about that last week. Win your division, right? You know, here's the thing I don't like. You know the rules going in. Don't cry later on about we deserve a spot because da 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 da, bro. Ain't nothing changing last minute. I wasn't surprised that they made it, obviously, but like when you whine about having to be in the playing game, bro, just play your games. You already knew what it was going into it. Play your games, earn your spot, and you did. We all knew you were gonna make it. So I mean, do your thing, and you know, it is what it is.
I agree. I think we had Denial. Kids actually had Denial as his long shot team coming out of Bravo. That's why I left it off when I announced who he had as his long shots. I said only 3 or 4 because I didn't want to quite give that away fully.
How does he have 4 long shots? Christ.
1 from each group.
I have one for each group.
No.
He picked 1 from each group. And
Yeah.
I skipped Bravo on purpose for that reason because they made it in. Yeah, I mean, well deserved. Like Shock said, they sat in the
13th overall.
13th position overall,
Yeah.
and should have been in there if we did a top 16, 17 instead of divisional rounds.
Yeah.
So definitely worthwhile to them. Everybody else in the top 17 are in the event. So they were the only team that
So it worked out
potentially
perfect.
could have not made it, even though they placed in the top 17 after
Yeah.
the event.
So
So
to add to that, here's the thing. People complain when they're in the playing round, but if it was the other way around, where they were the team that was in, 18th place that made it in above them, or 17th place that made it in above them, they would not say a goddamn word. But the fact that they got played in and they should have been in automatically, people want to complain. If it was the other way around, you wouldn't say a goddamn thing, period. So
Very true. Very true. Alrighty. Our next topic. Let's go with the biggest surprise. Kids?
I'm gonna give my love back to TV, man. They slept on me for 2 weeks. I took them out. Said someone else was gonna take it. They made a meme of me on Twitter. It was good stuff. I like it. Good times. But
Content.
biggest surprise was them. They were in sixth place. Entering week 3 with only 62 points. They came back, finished in fourth place in the very last game in their bracket, and they finished off with 136 points. They gained 74 points within 2 days span to go in there and hit that fourth spot in their bracket and move on. So, biggest surprise. Hey, welcome back, TV. Hey, let's show out in the finals, man.
For me, my biggest surprise is Crazy Mob. Problems, I love you. I love the whole Crazy Mob squad, but y'all play like straight up dog water all season. Let's keep it 100 right here. You guys made it in, so I guess it's not really biggest loser because you're in or whatever, but y'all surprised me because you did not play well. I'm expecting you guys to compete for championships, and right now I don't see it. You know, y'all got 3 weeks to wake up, try and get some dubs or something, but so far not impressed. So surprised because that's a team that I would consider top 5, at least top 10, and sitting in like bottom tier of the league. Nah, not good enough.
I'm probably gonna get made fun of for this. I'm gonna say the biggest surprise is my own team.
Oh my God.
I knew he was gonna go there.
So here,
I mean,
go ahead.
I threw that team together 4 days before league started on a last minute, hey, I got some FAs. Let's see what we can do with this. We got the team together. Started out, week 1 was okay. And then week 2, I lost 2 of my players. 1 quit. 1 just stopped playing. So I'm down to a 5-man roster. And I'm going, I don't know what to do here. So, I mean, they played week 2 as a 3-man for like the last couple games one night, and week 3, I think they played as a 3-man the whole time. I don't remember fully.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
So I give them a ton of credit for being thrown together that quick, putting in the work to make it happen. Like I said, when I went over my predictions, I didn't even have them in the top 4 because I didn't expect them to do it, just being thrown together. So my biggest surprise, my own team, and shout out to them.
Yeah, we're going to go to the next question, but I just want to take a moment to note that the goddamn TV guy over here goes for TV, and the goddamn TSN guy goes for the 20 squad. You see what I'm working with here? Homers, these two.
All right. Next question. Who is your biggest overall loser? Let's start with Shocks this time.
My biggest overall loser is our BGE Season 2 champions. It's not that they played terrible because they qualified. The mofos only showed up 20 games. Unacceptable. How the hell can you be considered a top tier team and only come in for 20 games? If y'all want to retire after the season, retire off the season. You should have retired before the season if you're only going to play goddamn 20 games. Where the hell are you? 3-man that. Figure it out. I don't know what you got to do. If you need to add somebody to your roster at the beginning of the year, I don't know what it is, but 20 games? Nah. Losers. That's it.
It's
I don't know if I can follow that up, but Hellfire
Losers.
Esports, what in God's name did you do this last week? All you had to do was get 30 points. 30. 3-0.
No bueno.
What was this? They didn't even play. Carnage played all of really 2 weeks. The first week, they played, lost all their points. Came back, did what they had to do, got back in the 4th spot, which you was holding, and you just threw it away. They didn't play last week at all, and they still qualified.
And they didn't even show up for the play-in.
Qualified team at that in their bracket.
They didn't even
103
show
points.
up for the play-in.
I don't even know what to say, but how do you not? You get 30 points. You had 2 days to get 30 points, and you didn't do it. Biggest loser, Hellfire Esports. Get it together.
I'm gonna second that, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, Kato's gonna get you.
L.
Yep.
L.
Big L. Like,
I
Bunch
mean,
of losers. Everybody.
I don't really know what to say. I mean, other than off in church, if I'm gonna go with somebody different. All right, since we just covered biggest loser, biggest winner, kids.
biggest winner. Oh, let's see here. Who could I put in the biggest winner spot?
Yeah.
The biggest winner in this case, even though they did not technically get the top spot because of damage, I'm gonna go with DubHub. They played their hearts out. They went up, showed out, did all they could, and the only reason they didn't get first overall was either they didn't get enough damage. I think when I talked to y'all the other day, they missed it by like 600 give or take damage, and that's without Skyline playing last week. But DubHub came from behind, or not behind, but they came up, at least tied it, and they just missed about that. But my biggest winner is going to be DubHub. They balled out that last week to even get up to that top spot with Skyline Gaming.
Yeah, for me, my biggest winner, it's going to be the Console Killers. I got the Console Killer t-shirt on simply because I think they ended in 7th place. But this is a team that I had no idea what they're going to do coming into it. So, honestly, I could have picked a bunch of teams, DubHub, Skyline, whatever. But I'm going to go with Console Killers just because the element of surprise, they sold themselves as a wash team with a bunch of wash players. But to me, they played very well. Ended up top 7. So, to me, that's got to be the biggest winners. That's your Cinderella story going into champs.
For me, the biggest surprise, and I'll get roasted for this one too, but biggest winner, Carnage. Played week 1, lost all their points. Played week 2, got 103 points. Couldn't play week 3 because they couldn't get a roster together, and they still qualified.
Woo! It only takes 1 week.
It took them literally 1 week to qualify, and they're like,
it only takes day 2 of 1 week.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I mean, realistically, I mean, looking back at it after.
But if you really think about it, because if you think about what I think day 2 was enough, where they probably with just that day they probably beat Hellfire,
yeah,
right?
So they scored like.
They scored 22 points day 3 of week 1, or day 3 overall, and then they picked up. Where are they? 100, or no, 22. They picked up 81 points day 2 to get to 103.
How much did Hellfire have overall?
98.
98. And they played every single week.
Hellfire played all 30 games. Carnage technically played a total of 10.
Sheesh.
All right, so I'm going to give an honorable mention to one team for being the biggest winner, and that was Q3. We know they split up. They knew they were done, but they came back anyway to finish what they started. Came in 2nd overall because the Mace didn't play. They came in 2nd overall in their group, but at the end of the day, other teams had these same issues going on, and we ain't going to get into that. But at least this team came back, finished while they started.
They got
now
heart.
they're heading into championship week. They got heart, like you said. They're gonna go in there and do what they need to do. But I'm gonna give them just an honorable mention because other teams do that and they just don't show up. And we saw, what happened this past week with that. So, but honorable mention to Q3. At least they are gonna come back in, finish what they started.
12th overall in the standings.
Kids is gonna do like a montage video for them.
Well, I think they deserve that, man.
It's been a long day.
All right, moving on. MVP. Who do you got in this category, Shocks?
MVP, I've said it all season long. The one and only Zality MVP. Somebody give this man some credit. Somebody gas this man up. I believe he was the overall kill leader as well. Zality without a doubt, is the MVP of the BGE Season 3. He's shown it. He's been carrying Skyline to a first place finish. Give me Zhao all day, baby. Let's go.
Kids?
I'm gonna have to switch mine up because mine they just didn't show up. They didn't want to play week 3, and from what I was seeing and things, I'm gonna switch mine up to Sparky only because anytime that I watch Sparky, he was solo somewhere snaking it
Oh, yeah.
all the time, and he would get his team top 3 easily by just snaking it up. And so, my MVP, just in general, by the way he was playing, every time I watched him, and mine not being in last week, I'm gonna switch it up. Go Vig Sparky over here.
Yeah, already. I'm actually going to switch mine up from last week because I think I gave it to the whole Skyline team and
You
got
did.
roasted for that.
Yes.
Yep.
Thanks, K-Dub. But I'll try and make it up a little bit here. I'm actually going to give it to Space Havoc, DH Havoc. Getting Dub Hub in the position to win their division and, like we said, tie essentially for first place overall. Missing it by either 1 kill or 600 damage, however you want to look at it. Says a lot because I know we're always a little hard on the Dub Hub because they're so up and down, and usually they're. I mean, we saw it. I think it was season 2. They
Yep.
came out strong. Like we said after week 1. Oh, call this. Dub Hub's like so far ahead, and then they kind of fell off. So I give Dub Hub a lot of credit, and being led by Havoc there, I think they're poised to be near the top in the champs.
Yeah, I agree. I think Dub Hub's kind of like, first of all, you didn't say Boatman, right? And second of all, Dub Hub's kind of like Mike Tyson. You know, you get him in the beginning rounds, they're gonna knock your ass out. But when you get him into round 5, 6, 7, gassed out. You know, so we're gonna see how they play in champs, though.
But shout out to K-Dub. He's got a stack roster though, so I'm expecting big things from Dub Hub in the championship round.
Alrighty. Speaking of champs, kids, top 3 predictions.
All right, so I'm gonna go Skyline, Torch, Dub Hub. It's gonna be my top 3.
For my top 3, give me Vigorous, give me Skin, Skyline, and give me the Unprofessional Gaming Team. I know they aren't sitting in the tops currently in their spots in the overall standings, but I feel like the cream will rise to the top, and those are teams that I'm gonna throw my money on.
I will blend the two ever so slightly, and Skyline for sure, Vigorous for sure. I'm gonna lean towards the Dub Hub.
The Dub Hub.
I feel that their time is here, and they'll frag out and prove that they are what they keep telling us they are, and that's a top 3 team or better. Which leads into the next one. Who do you pick as the overall winner? Kids.
Nothing's gonna change. Not yet. Starting off, my preseason pick is gonna still be the same. It's gonna be Skyline until something happens and something proves me wrong. So,
Okay.
that's all I'm saying
Shocks?
with.
I am a goddamn pancake. I'm a level 3 frying pan pancake because I've been switching up. I went from Vig to Dub Hub, but you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I have nothing to back this up at all. No reasoning. Nothing has shown me that this is gonna be the right answer. But give me the unprofessional gaming team to come in there. They're just too stacked. That team's gonna end up. I'm maybe next week I change my mind, but right now, give me GT, baby. You
For
know?
me, I gotta give a shout out and feel like I'm becoming a little more part of this team ever so slightly, but I'm gonna go with Vigorous. I expect them to pop off here and prove that they are who they say they are. Let me throw a odd one or off the topic, off the chart one, not on our list. After qualifying, I mean, we all had this down. Shocks, which do you think was the strongest group?
Strongest group. I'll tell you which one's the weakest group. But I would say the strongest group is I'll tell you the strongest group was the group with the Dub Hub in it. Group I believe it was
Bravo.
Group Bravo.
Yep.
That was definitely the strongest group. Has a couple top tier teams in it. So to me, that group probably ended up being the strongest. And I think when we first started ranking it, I had that as one of, if not the weakest group. So shout out to
Your
them for proving me
strongest
wrong.
your strongest group you had was actually the Charlie group.
Yeah. No bueno.
Kids?
All right, so I know I had the strongest group as C.
Yep.
It's I'm gonna have to switch that up because torched that group. 100. It was 303 to 166, the next closest. I'm gonna have to switch it up to. I'll have to switch it to B as well. Just that was a lot more, closer and tight knit group in my opinion than what I thought originally C was going to be. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say to that. I'm gonna have to switch mine up to B as well. Just I feel like there's more competition going on in B than the other groups.
And I will mirror that and say Bravo also, only because going into the final game of the last night of qualifying, all three third, fourth, and fifth, or third and fourth, were still up for grabs. All the other brackets had essentially been locked down to the point where, all right, this one team might squeak in, but that one was so up in the air with four different teams fighting for that one spot that Shocks, you gotta cut that. I gotta take that back. I'm going with the Alpha group. Sorry, not Bravo. Alpha.
So I just started off right there. I'm going with Alpha.
All right, I'm going with the Alpha group. Only because going into the final game of the final night, you had Exile Gaming, Team Vicious, So Strong, High Rise Esports, and Excessive Gaming all vying for third and fourth. That bracket, that group was so tight from third to seventh that you have a 25-point swing in there going in. It literally came down to the last few teams up in that, and so I think even though there's a 90-point gap roughly between second and third, those next 5 teams there made for an interesting final game that night.
Yeah.
So I think definitely Alpha was, in my point, the strongest bracket just based on competition like that. Weakest bracket, I think we're all unanimous on this one.
Yeah, whatever bracket Hellfire was in, trash.
Charlie?
Dog water.
That's Charlie,
No
100%,
bueno.
Yeah, C,
Everybody
definitely the weakest
behind
group.
Carnage, I don't know who exactly you are, but you know who you are.
That would be Hellfire, One Up, The Bunker, and Envy.
Shit,
Yep.
I'll respect, but goddamn. 1 week.
Facts.
1 week. Jesus
10
Christ.
games, that's all they played.
Yeah,
Christ.
you needed 30 points, Carnage. You had 2 days to do it.
God dang.
Blows my mind, man.
So, yeah, I think we're all good on that one. Alrighty. What are you looking forward to coming up here? And we'll wrap this up. Shocks, any last words?
What do I look forward to? Going into the final 3 weeks of champs, I expect it to be as competitive as possible. I hope to see each and every team showing up every night. There will be consequences if you don't, because we could have gave your spot to one of these other teams that would have showed up every night. So you better be there, because if not, trust me, I will be the a-hole if I need to be the a-hole. All right, so know that.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on that. But all right, moving on. Kids, your final thoughts? What you look forward to?
First thought is I'm looking forward to being whatever kind of booth we're about to be in for the next 3 weeks. I'm looking forward to working with Shocks, Graham, whoever else is going to be in the booth with us. Hey, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be something different. I feel like that's going to be great for the the channel and the community as well. But I'm looking forward to some very competitive gaming because everybody made it here for a reason. I want to see some blood in game, I should say, sweat and tears out of what we're about to see in this field of 17 for season 3 championship week.
Yes. I agree. I expect the best of the best out of all 17 teams that are playing. And I mean, just looking at the teams playing, we are going to be in for some great action from start to finish, I feel. I don't expect it to be as much of a runaway that some of the divisional rounds were, as I'll call them. The quals. But I can't wait to see some of these teams and maybe even a surprise team or two pop off and show us a little something that we aren't expecting. So I think, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
All right, everybody.
And,
Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the Hot Drop. You already know what it is. Throw down a goddamn video.